Welcome back to another reaction to Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3, Episode 7. Not much to say. We resolved the little fight we had last episode. Still no idea what the idea was for Minami to get through the door. He was like, he needs to touch every one of the stars in order to get to the door. I guess. Okay. We know somewhat what her ability was. Okay. We had the typical shonen, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna take all your punches until you accept me for who I am kind of deal. That's mostly it. Let's see what we can get out of this deal.
ごめんね。
誰？
ここに結界を張った術師だ。ここは選ばれたんだ。殺し合いの場にね。残念ながら別に名誉なことではないよ。
Why is he apologizing?
殺し合い？うちでそれは勘弁してもらえませんか？
面白いね、君は。少し離れたところに形状跡があるんだ。結界の中心はそこだよ。半径5、6キロってとこかな。かなり無理をして作った結界だからね。あまり理不尽な条件付けはできないんだ。初めから結界の内側にいる君たちには結界を出る権利がある。
If you can.
一度だけね。君が望めば目が覚めたら結界の外さ。
Very nice. I mean, he did say he can't impose too many restrictions.
どうする？
目が覚めたらって、これは夢なの？
夢と現実の狭間、まじないさ。
Say you want to wake up outside?
気をつけて、ゆっくりだ。外にはもう気の早い連中がいる。
I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. On one hand, I would if he was a curse. They don't care about humans. But he is different. He wants all of them to more or less evolve. Because he does have an incentive to let as many survive as possible. On the other hand, he needs people to die to get the power. Meaning, I feel like this is a trap. I feel like he's taking them to the other side, which essentially is death.
そうだ。言い忘れるところだった。息子と仲良くしてくれてありがとう。
Thank you for being friends with my son. Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot that he had like a bunch of children. Thank you for being friends with my son, Sasaki. The only ones he has as his son are the cursed wombs, right? Chozo and stuff, and Itadori, right? Those are his children. essentially. Maybe he has more? I don't remember Sasaki. I'm bad with names though.
佐々木佐々木
井口。
よかった知ってるやついて
My glasses are missing. From the first season, the Occult Club, right? Oh, he was talking about Itadori. And now that she's saying my glasses are missing, I remember, okay. So this was the Occult Club that Itadori rescued and where he ate the first finger. Interesting. What a callback.
ここどこ？
高等大と広
Everyone totally confused.
瀬通りの間くらいだ
But they are not dead,
それより見ろ
which is interesting. I did not imagine Gato to give them an out like that. Again, he did say he was not able to be more restrictive. However, I don't believe he really was, even if he was able to do more stuff, I don't believe he wanted to keep them inside. Because it's not really that useful. He probably would have enacted some other rules. But still, I assumed this was a trap and he just killed them all. But
どう見るよ
I was wrong.
岡健として
どう？
Sendai colony. I hope what is behind the black thing is the colony and not where they are.
夢の話していい？
みんなしてるよロン毛で今朝の男だろ
じゃあ井口もされた？息子がどうのって。
いやそれは初耳だ
虎杖？
Tokyo number 1 colony. Part 1. So we go through all the colonies as well. Interesting. Okay.
マジで五条さん封印されたの
マジです。
Again, if you lay it out like that, it's like, okay, you want me to help you fight someone who defeated Gojo is insane way to get someone on your side.
あとついでのようで悪いが学長も死んだ
パンダ先輩。
すまん黙っててだが本当だ大丈夫だ虎杖渋谷でじゃないあの後上とごたついてな
なら良かったとはなんねえよ。
It makes even less sense, to be honest. That the higher ups were they are fighting all the ones that they want to get rid of. Meanwhile, half of Japan is in a death battle.
だって学長はパンダ先輩の。
それも含めて大丈夫だありがとな
お前がそう言うなら俺たちは何も言えねえよ
ね
にしても世話になった人らがことごとくこんなにへこんだなヤックルのケツに矢がぶっ刺さった時以来だよ
いい人生送ってるな。
分かった死滅回遊の平定には協力する勘違いすんなよ情に流されたわけじゃねえこれはあくまで取引だ
Okay.
分かってるか死滅回遊に型がついたらお前らが俺に
I mean, if you help with the culling game, sure. I guess we are going to help you with whatever you want. I don't see a problem in that.
協力すん
if you help us, the Culling game is giant. I mean, it's like a blood debt at that point. You can nearly demand anything. Nearly.
だぞ
Nearly anything.
呪術規定の改定に一丁かみしようってんだろ呪霊の存在が公になった以上改定自体は確実なんだろうけど具体的には何になった以上改定自体は確実なんだろうけど
I like that she is dusting off her jeans.
具体的には何をどうすんだ
どう
At least it looks like it.
そこまで難しくはないと思いますよ。
てめえに何がわかんだよふに頭これ
俺、全員家当主で。
Yeah, this is a little bit insane. I mean, sure, you are the head of the Zenin clan. It's not going to be anything important, but not anymore.
そうおいおいおいおいマジか二人には悪いが今日一ビビったぜ御三家がバックにつけば規定の改定に口出しなんてちょいじゃねえか問題はその後ファイトクラブの運営にいかに全員家を関わらせないかだなうに頭
伏黒です。
伏黒君
Don't come. No, 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 no. Don't try to be all nice and flirty or whatever.
仲良くしようね
はい。
Oh, this is the day before they got removed. Okay.
よしあとは各々が出向く
I mean, still, if you had with the Culling game, Itadori on your side, you rescue Gojo, Gojo's on your side. I mean, with Gojo, you can do whatever you want.
コロニーの割り振りだなユータ宮城だっけ
New rule change? New rule change? We know the guy from last time, he had enough points to change another rule. The rule he changed makes sense. It makes totally sense because he wants to fight strong people. Problem is that he needs to see the people or meet the people to see how strong they are. So I'm assuming he's going to enact a rule that makes it able to see people. Maybe we have like a high score? If it is regarding being able to see the strongest people in the game, then I am assuming that is the same guy. Oh, this is okay. This okay. Did this not happen last time? Before we even engaged in this talk? Are we changing the time frame? Pretty sure this happened before. No, right after we cleared up. Or we're like, hey, let's work together, right?
なんか途中からキャラ違くねえか
最初のは死滅回遊からのアナウンス今のはプレイヤー虎杖裕二個人について
So he's a player. The other ones are not.
窓口として喋ってるぜ
そういや、天元様が言ってたな。いや、おかしいだろ。なんで虎杖がもうプレイヤーとしてカウントされてんだ。賢弱に術式や呪物を配られたやつ以外は。
Oh no. Right. The ones who gave cursed techniques or cursed objects. Because he went around, gave people that had techniques energy, and people that had energy techniques. And most likely all of his descendant or blood related people, which is Itadori.
コロニーに侵入して初めてプレイヤーになるはずだろ。虎杖裕二のように呪物を取り込ませた呪物は宣伝。
Oh, okay. I see. Okay. This is what happened. Never mind. I remembered wrong. So yeah, he did say, I'm pretty sure he gave techniques to the ones that had energy. Essentially what he was doing was getting people or giving people the ability to fight. Okay, so he gave cursed objects to people. And these cursed objects were what was left of the sorcerers that he forged pacts with, but these pacts all disappeared whenever he changed the bodies. That is also what he said at the time. I remember that vividly, that the pacts were gone. But this would explain why we have these sorcerers back, like Angel, like the one 400 years ago we saw last episode. Unless some of them may be able to have survived that long. Would be a little bit questionable why we didn't see them until now with Gojo around. So I assume they got more or less revived, similar to Schooner, through these curse objects. And again, I'm pretty sure I would have to go back. It could also be a translation thing. That he was saying that some people he gave techniques to that had the energy, and some he gave the energy that had techniques. He may have meant these cursed objects. Because as example, Minami's or Fushiguro spiked hair guy's sister seems to be normal. He does not seem to have a different personality. So he did something to her to make her able to fight. For 1,000 years.
交わしたのは術師だけじゃない。そいつは実在した人間だよ。1000年以上前の話だけどね。スクナだ。
スクナ？
It's more likely that because you are his blood-related child that you are here. Again, I'm pretty sure he did also say that all these packs disappeared whenever he changed his body.
スクナも賢弱と契約して呪物になった術師の一人だったんじゃねえかな。
死滅回遊への参加が
I also don't believe he forged a pact with Schooner did not forge a pact with Kenjaku. Pretty sure. I'm nearly 100%. I don't know how Schooner got defeated or turned into the cursed object, but I do not believe that anyone was able to make a pact with him. Not Kenjaku, no one. It may be that everyone got together to defeat him, maybe, or what it could also be that Schooner was bored. He was the strongest being that was there, and he was like, no one here is able to fight me. This is boring. I'm going to seal myself into these 20 fingers with a very strong seal that no one can lift. And he knew that at some point the seal would become weaker and weaker, and he would be able to come back in 500, maybe 1,000 years. And then he could maybe find someone worthy fighting. Maybe that is the idea. I don't believe he got a pact with Kenjaku.
死滅回遊への参加が契約に含まれてるのか。でもやっぱりおかしい。スクナの指はお前の意志で。
Again, he did say at the time that the pact disappeared whenever he changed the body, or the pack disappeared whenever they changed the bodies. Whatever the case, the packs are null and void. That is the part that he also said.
取り込んだろ。俺が証人だ。後にしよう。虎杖、早速小金にプレイヤーの情報を出させてくれ。
小金できる。
あいよ。じゃじゃじゃ
こいつだこいつ。
Okay, so you can pull up the... Okay, that was not... This was not in the rules that you can just pull up the players. You know, this is one of those things that is coming out of nowhere. Because now the rule makes more sense, but before, this never happened. We didn't know you can do that. I was under the assumption this was not a possibility. Not even regarding that you need to scroll. Clearly, I have no idea how they found this guy so fast. There are hundreds, if not thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of players. And you just found him this quickly?
もともと200点も持ってたのか。どういう意図でのルール追加だ。
少なくとも40人は殺してるやつってことだろう。気持ちのいい理。
Yes, that is correct. I mean, technically he could have killed less because the minimum number of points is 5, but you can get more under some circumstances that this little thing decides.
言うじゃねえんじゃねえか。
でもこれで俺たちは人を殺さずに死滅回遊を進められるかもしれない。小金、得点が100以上。
So the question is, this Kogane, can you just summon it? Can you just say Kogane and he comes out? Because he was not here the whole time. So I assume you can summon it. Let's see if it has a search
プ
function.
レイヤーだけリストアップできるか。
俺は虎杖裕二についてるからな。
ああ、いいよいいよ。伏黒の言うことは聞いて。
He has a
積
search
み木のような
function.
巻き込まれた人間は焦って結界から出たがらない限り。受肉した過去の術師も各々思惑があって賢弱と契約しただけで必ずしもモチベーションが高いわけじゃない。貸し物ように点を持て余しているやつがまだいるとしたら。
そっか。100点以上持っててルール追加をする気がないやつ。そいつをのして。
積み木が回遊を抜けるルールを作らせる。
I still believe whoever they go to is going to add a rule who does exactly the opposite.
出たぜ。
もう一人。
By the way, this also was never told. I don't know if this was ever planned to be part of the story that this little thing can search. But fair enough. 2 people.
まずはネックのルール。
Can we see how many rules they added? I feel like the top one has 101. That one probably added a rule. I assume that is what the 01 means. I'm assuming the bottom right means which area they are in, which colony.
もう一人。まずはネックのルール8を逆手に取る。
Oh, yeah, no, I'm stupid. With the top one is the guy from last episode. He added a rule, he got 100 points. Makes sense. And the bottom one is the one. If I remembered names, it would make sense. But I'm not able to remember names. So Higuruma is the one we want to go to. Oh yeah, current colony, Tokyo number 1 and 2. Rules added. my vote. So yeah, top one is the one that, okay. I see. So we are going to have to fight him because he is most likely going to Colony 1 to find Hiromi. I assume there would be like a normal area, a non-colony area between colonies. So you have circuits that don't overlap. That is my assumption, or was my assumption. Now, if we wanted to go to colony in Tokyo number 1, how? We can't leave the colony, right? Unless they do overlap. Or is there maybe a way to teleport to the other colonies? Because Hajime, he wants to fight this Hiromi. Because this is the strongest other person. Has the most points apart from him. So he wants to fight him. Person.
まずはネックのルール8を逆手に取る。
あ、ルール8ってなんだっけ
？19日以内にポイントの変動がない場合、術式を剥奪、死に至るルールです。そこでルールを追加してプレイヤー間でのポイントの譲渡を可能にする。これで身内でポイントを回し続ければ術式を剥奪されて死ぬことはなくなる。
Smart. Okay, so this way you can survive forever. Understandable. Makes sense, especially if you have such a lax rule. You can just have 1 point and just transfer it between everyone. Now I would get a couple more points in case someone is like, oh, I'm not going to give my point away. And the rule is only about changes to the points. It's not necessarily about increase. Okay. Makes sense.
できればもう一つ、ポイントを消費して死滅回遊から離脱できるといったルールを。
Okay. How many points? I feel like you can't decide that. I feel like because the idea is that Kogane has to be fair about the rules being added. So this can't be, you may potentially not be able to decide the amount of points. You can try. But it's not going to be cheap.
追加する。
それは例の永続に抵触するんじゃねえか
No, it would not, because you need points to leave. And for that you need to take part in the game. So you are continuing the game to then at some point leave. The cost has to be prohibitively high though.
俺もそう思います。でも、非プレイヤーを死滅回遊に引き込み、身代わり条件を盛り込めばいけるかもしれません。
確かにな。
Okay. In the end, that doesn't change much. I mean, you just want to save your sister. So the idea is that you take the place of your sister. Essentially.
その辺は小金が決めんのか
何にせよ、やることは決まったな。
ああ。
I mean, and then you could just not add the point cost. Because this would, essentially it would not do, it wouldn't change anything in the game if you just exchange players.
獄門橋の封印を解ける天使を探しながら、カシもはじめと火車ひろみを狩る。
There's 8 players with 100 points, yep. Hajime was the one adding the rules, right? Pretty sure. And Hirumi was the other one, right? Yes. You don't want Hajime. I mean, assumption would be that Hajime is not maybe doesn't want to take part in the game.
探しながらカシモはじめと日車ひろみを狩る。
やっぱいねえな天使。
I assumed as well, why not search for Angel? But they probably go under a different name. We also see some dead people. Interesting that you can see the dead people. Huh. But you revived the dead people? Bring them back? Maybe.
本名じゃないんだろうお前のスクナみたいな。
天元様は東京の東側第二コロニーにいるって言ってたな。
なりは分かってんのか。
Did we, by the way, decide how to split up? I guess she looks like an angel?
見ればわかるそうです。
大丈夫かそれ。まあいいや。俺とパンダが東京第二、伏黒君と虎杖が第一、キララは結界外で待機。
I would also agree that she stays outside. Her ability seems very utility based. Now he's going with Panda, right? Yes. Okay, maybe. I don't really know what else combination wise would make sense. They don't really synergize in any way. None of these people are. No one here has a similar ability to Todo, which I hope comes back. Because Todo, Itadori, fantastic pair.
でいいな。
根拠は
得点だけ見れば一番強いカシモと俺がやんのが順当だろ。
私仲間外れ？
パンダは鼻が利くから天使探しに注力しろ。おっこつから連絡ねってことは結界の中じゃ携帯は使えねえ。外の状況を把握できるやつはいた方がいい。
はーい。
待って、俺と伏黒は別の方がいいかも。少ながも。
うるせえ。
うるせえ。
先輩たち3人の役割は動かせない。わがまま言うな。
わがまま？こっちは心配してやってんだろ。
お前それ毎回言うつもりか？めんどくせえ。時間の無駄だ。
喧嘩すんな。
Remaining time until Tsumiki must enter.
よー俺
I forgot the rules. Do they have to enter? Or do they just have to change the points? Because they could do that outside, right? Maybe.
は黄金。この結界の中では死滅回遊って殺し合いのゲームが開催中だ。ひとたび足を踏み入れたらお前もプレイヤー。
Oh, okay. Wow, I did not even register. So these are the colonies. Again, you are not allowed to leave once you are inside. The only ones that are allowed to leave are the ones that already were inside, and they can leave once. Meaning, potentially, if he spawned in here, he could leave once, but otherwise, I don't know how he's going to leave for another colony to fight people there, unless he's going to add a rule where he's allowed to do that.
それでもお前も中に入るのかい？
ああ。
問題ない。
Now, this also has a little bit of a problem. Now, the rule that Fushigoto Taiki here was saying is, hey, we can add a rule. First a rule so people don't need to fight to stay alive. Then we add a rule which people can use to remove themselves from the game by putting a non-player into the game, as what he was saying, as like a cost if they need to do that. Meaning they would need to pull someone else into the game, a non-player, which I assumed would be him. It would make the most sense for his sister. But with him being in the game, we need someone else to sacrifice. Now, I don't believe we get Gojo back until the very end, because he would just clean house here. So I don't know who we go and sacrifice. Maybe Maki?
ちょっと甘いずっとあいつ待ってんだけど
あ、いや、そう言われましても誰か来ないことには俺にはどうしようも。
何あんた口答えすんの
Why do I feel like we know these guys? But I don't remember.
違う、すいません、勘弁してください。
Wasn't he the guy that could transform into other people? Through the old granny? I don't really remember.
あんま舐めてると引き殺すわよ
Okay.
対すべきは受肉した過去の術師だ。
俺もそう思ったぜ。説明してくれたぜ、伏黒君。
1000年前の連中もいる。100年や200年でも
Mm-hmm.
命の価値が今とまるで違う。しかも術師だぞ。戦って死ぬのは当たり前。戦って死にたい。なんならそのために賢弱と契約したのかもな。カシモや火車は過去の術師の可能性が高い。まともな交渉は期待するな。
あと好戦的なのは呪霊か。
特に夜はな。
I mean, okay, cursed spirits are still here. I guess they also give points. Interesting. And yeah, I still assumed that Kenjaku can just put some of his subordinates into the game as well. There's nothing stopping him from that. Like some of the cursed spirits. And I more rules to his liking.
積み木と同じ巻き込まれた現代人の術師ならむしろ積極的に情報交換できると思う。
よ俺は小金。この結界の中では死滅回遊って殺し合いのゲームが開催中だ。ひとたび足を踏み入れたらお前もプレイヤー。それでもお前は中に入るのかい？
ああ、問題ない。
伏黒めぐみが死滅回遊へ参加しました。ルールを参照しますか？
いい、必要ない。
いえ。
虎杖、まずは火車の情報収集だ。行くぞ。
おっ
Okay, you get randomly teleported inside the zone?
伏黒がいね
死滅回遊の結界は
Interesting.
侵入したプレイヤーを設定された9つの地点にランダムで転送
So it's a battle royale. You know, there are 4 games that has a bunch of rules. We spend a long time explaining all these rules. There are a lot of rules that they just omitted.
する死滅回遊のルールにはない結界
It was a rule of the barriers not included in the general rules of the Culling game. Oh, really? Wow. What rules are there too that did not got included? You know what? Sure. I mean, it makes sense. It's not that it doesn't make sense. It makes sense. From the story point, from, you know, making it more interesting, all makes sense. I just find it really interesting that some of these rules are not being given or explanation as examples, that you can use your little ghost angel thingy to search for players. That was never explained, but as far as I know. This one makes a lot more sense. This is Kenjaku's thing that he put in and it's not really part of the rules. It is just part of the barrier itself.
ない結界のルール。9つの地点には奴らがいる。来た。ルールにない現象に動揺したプレイヤーを狙う。
So we have Spawn Camper. Interesting. For a moment I was like, why? There are not many people that are going to join the game, so why are you doing this? However, there were some that started outside that need to come later. The problem is the people didn't know that, right? They don't know that there are still players outside that need to come inside. They didn't know that until now. Because of the rules, they now have the information that some people are outside of the play area and they may have to enter at some point because of the rules. Okay. Because otherwise it doesn't really make sense to spawn camp. First off, you don't know that there are only 9 positions where they can spawn. A lot of this situation hinges on that these people know this. They know there are only 9 positions that people can spawn in, so they can camp one of them. They know that people are going to join the fight later on for some reason, even though it's a fight to the death, so I don't know why people will join. Additionally, they know that some people are outside the play area and have to join at some point. Now this they can now with the new rule, because now they can check if someone is outside the play area, and they have to at some point get the point changed so they don't die. But the other parts are a little bit questionable why they would do this if they are not sure people are joining.
ルールにない現象に動揺したプレイヤーを狙う。ビギナー狩り。
こいつ硬いな。大抵のやつはこれでミンチになるのにピンピンしてる。ただものじゃないわ。
To be honest, I feel like in this position you would retreat. You did your strongest attack. It didn't work. You do maybe the second one here and then you'd retreat. You are like, okay, it didn't work. For some reason we are unable to instantly kill him. We should probably retreat. And at least maybe keep an eye on him, but take an easier target.
Daddy, 合流しましょう。
Okay, interesting. So it seems like she wants to retreat. I wouldn't even be here. There's no reason to check if the person is dead.
簡単に落ちたな。日車のこと聞かねえと。そしたら伏黒探さねえと。
んじゃれ！この女に何しとんねんで！
Why do they have the same ability? Or similar?
こっちに聞けばいいか。
羽場さんが出てきた。羽生さんはやら
What
れ
is
た
your
の。
ability?
あいつどこかで。虎杖。
So he knows Itadori. I don't remember him. I also don't know what is his ability.
どうしてこんなことするの？
そ そっちが襲ってきたんだろう。くそ、想定外のはぐれ方をした。どうだ、ヌエでも見つけられない。このコロニーは渋谷よりずっと広い。多分2キロ以上離れているな。
I mean, it would have made... You knew where the area was. This is probably just a barrier around the area. So you could have had like a emergency, let's meet up somewhere if something bad happens. You know, be a little bit smarter. You had enough time.
でも目指す場所は決まってる。
Okay. I mean, you know where to head, but that is an enemy, potentially. So it would have been more beneficial to meet up somewhere. Somewhere where... Just team up.
車という術師を知っているか？
She looks like she has the scorpion tail as her hair. I feel like that is potentially her power.
男って女は殴れば何でも言うこと聞くと思ってるよね。
答えろ。
はい、すみません。火車ってあいつでしょ？ 100 点取ってる。
どこにいるかわかるか？
なるほど、そういうことね。
What are you doing? Why are you doing flips? Fair enough. Yeah, bullshit. I'm sorry. I mean, sure, it looks cool, but it's bullshit. You are not doing this. You are not doing this. Not when... No. You are not that far.
上を常に取られるのは厄介だと思ったけど、あっちの攻撃手段はプロペラだけ。
Okay. Why would you go into melee attack? Why would you not just try to slice it? Oh, Itadori is the one that grabbed on. Okay. Fair enough. Because this is where Itadori shines in the physical confrontation. Close range.
屋内で迎え撃つ。
He's coming from up above as well. Okay. Just do the same again. Just slide through his blades.
スムージーにしたら。こっちに向けたな。てっぺん。さっきの飛行機女、俺ごとビルをぶち抜く強度がありながら、あの程度の投擲で落ちた。お前ら、術式の基軸の頭髪から離れるほど強度が落ちるんだろう。縛りか。縛りか。だがどんなに硬かろうが、頭は頭。攻撃さえ届けば勝ち割れる。
This definitely makes a lot more sense. Okay.
拳が砕けたけ。この勝負、アドレの負けじゃ。
Come on, you can't do that. You wanted answers, yet now you get no answers.
別に砕けちゃいねえよ。
教えてあげてもいいけど、私のお願いも聞いてほしいな。
言ってみろ。
言って、くだ。教えて、くだ。
いえ。
はい。私のナイトに。
What the fuck are you doing? Why is she playing around?
なって。
わかった、それでいい。
私ってそんなにいじりしろない？
時間がないんだ。早くしろ。前歩け。
分かってんの？ナイトって命がけで私を守んのよ。
お前の言ってることが本当ならな。いや、大き
Is she going to be part of the group? Did we just get introduced to a new character? I don't know.
来て。日車って術師のことを聞きたいんだけど。
I would, even if I were awake, I would not move a muscle.
虎杖、俺知ってるぜ。日車ってやつのこと。
嘘だったらわかるな。俺は虎杖とは違う。自分で100点取ってもいいんだ。
お前はやめて。レミって呼んで。
久しぶり。覚えてるか？
誰だ？
What is going on?
なんで俺の名前を知ってる？
悪い。一方的に俺が知ってるだけだ。お前は有名人だから。西中の虎。
同じ地元の方でしたか。なんだお前、過去の術師じゃなかったのか？
はあ？私そんなに時代遅れに見える？
積極的に戦う理由じゃなかったのか？
はあ？私そんなに時代遅れに見える？
積極的に戦う理由は何だ？
非プレイヤーの一般人はコロニーから出してもらえたみたいだけど、初めからコロニーの中にいたプレイヤーはね、死滅回遊に参加して今日で12日目よ。私だってやりたくてやってんじゃないの。やらなきゃやられるの。戦う理由を探してる間に殺される。12日もいればそれくらいわかるわ。
First thing you do, you search for her name. You look at her score. That is going to tell you a lot of what is going on. If she has just a couple of kills, okay. If she has like 50 to 80 points, that is going to be questionable. You know, just check her score. Additionally, it seems like both of them get like another person to join them. I don't know if that is permanent or not.
その過程で力に溺れてくやつも見たわ。過去のだ現代のだで考えるのはやめることね。
過去の術師に触発されて現代の術師も戦闘モードってわけか。虎杖に余計なこと言っちまったな。
I wouldn't trust her going around a corner out of
いい
it.
のか？仲間だったんだろ？あの二人。
俺は
Are we going to meet each other?
ただのパシリだよ。そのうち殺されてたさ。
待て。いい加減どこに向かっているのか教えろ。
だから言ったらその後あんたが私を殺さない保証がないでしょ。
そうか。
甘いだ。甘いリン。
着く前にお前が死んだらどうすんだ。
だからあんたが
I feel like both of them are going to die at the same time by a huge attack.
守るんでしょうが。あとお前って呼ぶな。
万が一があるだろ。甘い。日車はどこにいるんだ？
まあいいわ。ざっくりとなら教えてあげる。
強いやつほど栄えてたところに集まる。物資が豊富だからな。
日車は
池袋、
新宿
にいる。
Interesting. We get different. Pretty sure these are different areas. I'm not familiar with the Japanese choreography, but I'm pretty sure they are different. And both are untrustworthy. What is this?
俺はただ死滅回遊に可能性を感じている。
この国の人間
Just somewhat of a preview. I liked some of the parts in this episode a lot more. The whole barrier thing makes sense. Kenjaku, that is part of his barrier. Totally understandable. A little bit strange that we didn't know that you could search. At least I do not remember that you could search names. It makes the rule he made or added last week makes a lot more sense. We split up. We agreed to fight together. We are now in here. Interesting. Again, I don't know if there is really... How effective is it to hunt newbies? I did, they don't really know that there are people coming to join later, or how many that it is even worth it, that you have like 9 different spawn points. And it seems like that the woman also attacked spiky hair guy, meaning that she also is a newbie hunter. What I would do, I would search their names to see what's going on with them. But I did really like this episode. It made a lot more sense. There were, even though, overall animation really good. The overarching story, interesting concept. Some of the stuff is a little bit iffy. So if people die, you get the energy, ? Something along those lines. And that is what he needed to get to be able to evolve everyone at the same time with the tree dude or the immortal dude, okay? That is all fine. Some of the parts between that are not as well executed or are not as clear. As example, that Maki is more or less like the other dude now, close to one of the strongest beings in the show. The whole bit up of my dying was, we didn't really have much investment, so it didn't hit as hard. The principle, a lot better solved, a lot better situation, a lot better death. Last week I was just a little bit confused about how to get to the door. The rest totally made sense. Even though I'm very critical, overall it's still a very good show.